Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Brandon, and today I am going to be recommending. Take two. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Brandon, and today I'm going to be recommending to you guys some of my favorites, graphic novels, comic books, and manga. Take three. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Brandon, and today I'm going to be recommending to you some of my favorite graphic books. Oh my god. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Bran, and today I'm going to be recommending to you guys some of my favorite graphic novels, comic books, and mangas that I have read. So I personally don't read a lot of graphic novels or comic books or manga in general. Over the past years, I've picked some up that I really were interested in and actually really liked. So a lot of these books, a lot of people have really liked and read, but I think there are some hidden gems in here that a lot of people don't talk about. So without any further ado, let's get started. I would like to also mention that this video is also being sponsored and part of a paid promotion by Disney Book Group in honor of the release of Isle of the Lost, the graphic novel adapted by the book of the same name by Melissa de la Cruz. This graphic novel was adapted by Robert Venditti, and the artwork was done by Kat Vichardo. This literally follows the same plot as the original book. These supervillains are all banished on this island, and they have their powers completely stripped. There's this force field that literally is all around the island so that they can't escape. However, on this forbidden fortress, there's this thing called the Dragon's Eye, which is literally their only means of escape and a path to true inner darkness. So Mal, Maleficent's daughter, and her friends embark on this quest to find this Dragon's Eye. And along the way, they soon realize that even though you're from an evil family tree, being good ain't so bad. So this book is already out in stores, came out on September 4th, and if you guys are interested in purchasing it, I will leave all the links down in the description box below. Thank you again for Disney Book Group for sending me this graphic novel. Alright, so with that being said, let's get straight into the recommendations. So I'm going to start off with the manga. So I have all the mangas right here. Some of the notable mentions that a lot of people have read and already know I'm not going to talk about, like Naruto, One Piece, Sailor Moon, all these mangas I read as a kid growing up. I think these were just so popular, and if you asked anyone, these are some of the mangas that they have read or watched, because most of these mangas have been adapted into anime. But one of the more notable super popular mangas that almost literally everyone has read and owned and watched, the anime, Death Note. These are the black special editions, and the story itself is by Sugumi Oba, and I really like these editions just because all the end pages are sprayed black, and it's just literally black in general. I think that's really cool, and they have these different characters on the front covers. So each book contains 2 volumes, so I believe there's 6 volumes in all, with a total of 12 volumes, and I have read half of the series. And let me just say, this is one of the darkest books I have ever read, manga in general. When you read manga, it's just cartoon, they don't look like people, okay? They do, but in a cartoonish way. It's not realistic, right? So you don't really take it seriously at first, and then you read it and you're just like, wow, people are messed up. This literally follows a guy named Light, and he finds a notebook on the floor. In this notebook, he finds that if he writes a person's name and the manner of death, they die exactly like that. It's just, this whole series just literally follows him trying not to be found, trying to create justice in his own way, his own system. Along the way, he meets the actual god the notebook actually belongs to. And it's very dark. I would really recommend it, and it's a little thriller in a way. So if you guys do like thrillers, and if you guys are interested in getting to manga, I would honestly say this is a really good place to start. It does contain some violence, gore, mature elements and stuff, and if you're up for that, I would highly recommend. Alright, so the next manga that I have read, this whole series was an emotional journey for me, but I would still recommend it, is the Battle Royale series by Kashun Takami. But after I finished reading it, I was emotionally drained. It's one of the most brutal books I've ever read in my entire life. I think I read this when I was really young too, when I was 15 or something, 14. Let me just say, this is literally written before the Hunger Games, and a lot of people have compared it to the Hunger Games, and I don't know if they know this or not, but Battle Royale came first. There's this huge dispute with Suzanne Collins. She literally copied, Battle Royale, the story and everything, and she said that she never heard of the book and all that, but we're not here to talk about that. So this book series literally follows a group of high school kids placed on this island with bomb collars around their necks that will literally detonate if they try to fiddle with it, or if they're literally in this section that has been locked out, like after a day or two, like on the island. It was just more emotional and so much better than the Hunger Games, in my opinion. You really go into the emotional depth that is the character dynamics, their story, their backgrounds, just overall humanity. It really explores that, and it really questions, like, what would you actually do in that position, in that type of situation, and could you actually kill your best friend? It's just so brutal, honestly. Like, if you guys are looking for something that is really action-packed, it's just so gory, but just really, really good, I would highly, highly recommend the series. It does contain a ton of mature elements. It's probably one of the most mature mangas I've ever read in my entire life. So, caution. So I just realized also that a lot of the mangas I talked about were adapted into like a television series, a movie even. Some of the manga that I'm talking about have been adapted into an anime like series or something like that. But one of my favorite animes of all time, and listen, I don't watch a lot of anime, okay? My whole life is changed forever because it's one of the most beautiful animes I've ever watched. And let me just say, the story itself, beautiful. So the anime that it was adapted from, the manga, is Erased by Kei Sanbei. But this is the special edition of Erased. This is the hardcover edition. Most of the time manga comes in paperbacks, and they're usually black and white most of the time. This literally follows a man who has regrets in his life and is deeply saddened after like a classmate of his died when he was like much younger as a kid. However, he travels back in time when he was a kid, back to when this incident occurred with his classmate. He realizes that he's been given the second chance. However, when he does travel back in time, he does retain all the memories that has happened and like as an adult in like his kid body. He goes off and tries to find this girl and befriend her and try to prevent her death. And it's just so good. I cannot tell you how amazing this anime is, and I am so excited to start this because I wanted to see the slight differences, and I heard the ending was a little different too. If you guys are actually looking for a really good anime to watch, highly recommend Erased. And I haven't read this yet, but I do plan on it, and I'm very, very excited to start it. Another manga I want to talk about that I'm currently reading right now is Orange by Ichigo Takano. This whole story overall follows a classmate, a girl named Naho, I believe, and she received a letter from her future self. The letter says that she has to befriend this certain classmate that's transferring in, and over like this course of time befriend him, and eventually try to save his life or something like that because his life is in danger. She soon realizes that the certain events and things that are mentioned in the letter like are coming true, and then she later realizes, like I think in another book, I think the second book, that most of her friends have also been receiving letters from their future selves trying to change like the present. I heard it's really, really good, but also very sad, so I'm really wary. But then again, so far I think I'm like halfway done with this, and it's really, really good so far, and I can't wait to watch the anime because I heard it was really good as well. So that is pretty much all the manga and recommendations and what I'm reading and stuff like that. So let's get straight into comic books. I think this categorizes as a comic book, right? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this series, but it's one of the most pivotal series in my entire life. I read this as a kid, and it really just brought out my love for mysteries and thrillers in general. And it's Tintin by the French author Hergé. This whole series overall just literally follows this French dude named Tintin and his dog Snowy. These are like these editions that have like the like 3 main issues or volumes inside of them, and I absolutely love them. Ow. Idiot. I absolutely love this whole like series so much. I got each individual like book or series for my birthday each year. So I absolutely love it, and it's just really funny and comical overall. And if you guys are looking for something really lighthearted and warming, if you guys are looking for something lighthearted and funny, highly recommend. Also, the movie was really good too. They adapted one of the stories into a movie. I think it was, what was it? I think it's The Secret of the Unicorn, something like that. If you guys haven't read the series and you guys are looking for like a mystery but like really fun, and it's like really suitable for kids, children, like ages like 5 and up or something like that. Maybe not 5, like maybe 9 or something like that. I don't know, 5-year-olds can read. I couldn't read when I was 5. Not the point. Anyways, highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Okay, so now with that being said, I am going to recommend you guys really one of the most well-known like sci-fi graphic novels out there, and almost literally everyone on BookTube has read it. Might be no surprise that it's on here, but it's going to be on my list because I absolutely loved it, and I'm going to recommend it to you guys anyway if you guys haven't heard about it, which I'm pretty sure you have. It's Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Wait, Saga. Sega or Saga? I've heard it pronounced both ways. However, I've heard that one of the pronunciations is like incorrect, false, wrong. Saga, Sega, I don't know, SAGA series. This whole series overall is like set in space. It's sci-fi, you know, it looks sci-fi. And this whole story overall like really follows a man and a woman. I don't know. Well, I think they're maybe classified as chimeras or something like that. But they're on different sides of the war and they fall in love like Romeo and Juliet, and they have a baby. And bounty hunters are after them, and it's super action-packed. There's a lot of political strife, a lot of mature elements, but it's just a really, really good sci-fi series overall. I would really, really recommend it. So if you guys haven't heard about it, which I'm sure you all have, and have read it, and you're just, okay, next. But highly recommend. Alright, so last and not least, one of my favorite graphic novels of all time, and I have the entire collection, which I'm very proud of, is Lock and Key. The whole series is by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. What's really cool about this whole series overall is about this family that moves into this house with a lot of doors, and they find different like substance keys that unlocks certain doors that have special abilities and could lead to like certain things. Like one of them has like an out-of-body experience. It's just so mystifying, a little spooky. Perfect for Halloween, by the way. And each of the covers has like a different key, and each key will be explored. It was really cool, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I heard they were making like a TV show out of it or something like that. Aside from the keys that lead to different places, there's also like this really evil creature that wants to open all the doors and unleash hell on earth. So, highly recommend. Like most of the people that most of like the graphic novels I've recommended to you, I just realized were all like mystery, thrillers, or something dramatic. But yeah, 10 out of 10. So that is it for this whole video. Please let me know down in the comments below if you guys have read any of these graphic novels, comic books, or manga, and if you guys have any recommendations for me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all soon with a new video. Goodbye.